friends, welcome to Bookish Bliss, our virtual book club. Every week we will dig into a section of chapters in our favorite books. Let's get started!
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 70 of Bookish Bliss. We have a lot to discuss today.
This week we are covering The Assassin in the Desert, the third story of Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. So you don't have to read the whole book to listen, you just have to be caught up on the chapters we're covering. Yes. Ideally, you should have listened to the first two stories before this, and I guess technically you don't have to, but I feel like you would be a little lost at this point if you haven't.
Yeah, I think so too.
Amanda, darling, what are you drinking tonight?
Of course. I actually wanted to drink a High Noon, and then I remembered, damn, I brought them to Rachel's the other night, and we never drank them. It's also like 100 degrees today, so I should be drinking water.
Yes.
What are you drinking tonight?
I wasn't even going to attempt another Spindrift, even though I have two more in my fridge. So I'm having water.
Very good, darling.
Cheers to episode 70 of Bookish Bliss and part 3 of Assassin's Blade.
Yes,
Cheers!
Cheers, darling!
It is disgustingly hot out, and it's only going to get worse tomorrow.
I know. It's supposed to be way worse tomorrow.
I'm scared.
But, we'll be in air conditioning work all day. So
we will be in corporate America all day.
Literally.
We're in corporate winter, actually, so we'll be freezing inside.
Yep, exactly. We'll have to be going outside to warm up a little bit.
Yes. So we finished Silver Elite.
Yes. Megan was very vocal in our book club meeting about her feelings.
It's because, it had so much potential, and I think that's why I just got very passionate about it.
Yeah.
Because it had so much potential, and I feel like it just let me down.
After listening to you say that, I would have loved more, for sure, but also while I was reading it, it was enough for me. I was happy. I liked it. I'm much more easygoing than you.
Yeah, but I think that's what's so great about reading is everyone's experience, even reading the same book, is always going to be so different, and we're going to interpret things differently, and that's just what I love about reading.
Exactly. Sometimes we do agree, but most of the times we don't.
But that's what's so great, I think, about our podcast and our partnership is that we do have differing opinions, but we just love each other.
I know. And we just listen to each other's perspectives and appreciate the stories more.
It's because we have the same morals and values, and that's why we just love each other, but we just like different parts of books.
Yeah, love it.
Love to love it.
This story was wild, though. Probably the craziest yet.
It actually was a lot better than I remember.
Yeah.
I think I appreciated it more this time than the first time around because I just wanted to get through it the last time. I just wanted to get through Assassin's Blade. And now I still feel that way a little bit, but I definitely appreciate the stories more.
Yeah. I'm liking them. I like the little mini stories. It feels like I'm completing a chapter of her life every time.
I know. We've heard different glimpses. We knew about the Asterian
horse, yeah.
And we knew when, Dorian gifted Kale one. She's like, I had one before.
Yeah.
And now we get to just see it come into play in this story. And
I know.
So many different things that we've learned about Selena from book 1 and book 2 we're getting to see play out now.
Yeah.
And that's why I love reading it third, because it just makes the most sense to me, and I will fight anybody who wants to tell me that you read it first or fourth. No,
Megan
you don't.
Will wrap her hands.
I will give you a little one of my favorite combos.
No, but honestly, I really do love that. Something so silly that was supposed to be just comic relief maybe in a moment, or a sassy remark from her, actually turned into this crazy story, which, it's just so cool. It's so neat. Kudos to you, Sarah J. Maas.
Yes, the only thing we're giving you kudos for right now, since you haven't given us any ACOTAR 5-book news.
Yeah, Megan's still real pissed.
Yeah.
Now let's get started with the good stuff and break down Assassin's Blade Part 3. I'm odds.
I'm evens.
Here we go. Chapter 1. The scorching desert wind and sand were Selena's only companions as she trudged onward, sweat a constant reminder to hydrate lest she faced dehydration. Her nomad guide, paid handsomely, pointed 2 miles into the desolate expanse towards the Sez's Sui cast. I'm going to guess on that one because who the fuck knows how to pronounce that?
Not
Not us.
us.
The legendary silent assassins. He, clearly fearing them, refused to venture further, leaving Selena to pull her scarf back over her face and continue her grueling journey alone. What felt like 20 miles later, Selena finally reached the sandstone fortress. Despite her burning thirst and longing for a cool dip, she pushed through, upholding her reputation as Selena Sardathian. As she navigated the fortress, her assassin's instincts kicked in, meticulously cataloging every window, exit, and sentry post. She passed rows of training rooms, observing people of all ages and origins honing their skills, each room boasting a stream of crystal clear water. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
In the middle of the desert. At the hall's end, Selena found the mute master seated on a dais. Arabin had dictated her exact words, though she knew the master would remain silent. There would be no disguises. The mute master, in Arabin's deliberate act of exposure, would know her true identity. This was Arabin's punishment for her defiance, a month of training to earn the master's respect, culminating in a letter of approval to Selena Sardathian. Failure meant banishment from Rifthold, perhaps even the continent. The mute master's gaze swept over her, taking in her bruised face, a testament to Arabin's recent brutality. His complexion hinted at Eelway origins, but his eyes suggested a connection to the southern continent, which I feel like is going to be important eventually. He smiled, snapped his fingers, and 4 men charged at Selena.
Wow.
And shall we begin our training? Right away.
We shall. She has to
We
prove
shall.
herself.
Exactly. Sarah really knows how to set the scene for a story.
For sure.
We're in the scorching hot desert with this crazy wind. This nomad tour guide doesn't even want to get 2 miles closer to this place. He's like, there it is, all the way over there. See it over there? Okay, bye. See ya.
See ya.
Yeah. That's how feared, I guess, this Assassin's Keep is.
Well, yeah, there's literally an entire keep just full of assassins.
Yeah, I would probably not want to get close either. I'm like, I don't even want
Yeah.
them to see my face, know what I look like. Nothing.
Mhm.
And then we have Selena just being her damn self as soon as she gets there, clocking all the windows, a sentry post, knowing everything. But I love that she notices that people of all ages and origins are training at this place, which I don't know, I
Mhm.
love that part of the story.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise of this chapter was that she's going to have to be maskless and they are going to know her true identity, which is part of the punishment, but also I feel like kind of works in her favor later. So at
Yeah.
first I was like, whoa, no mask. Thank God she can fucking eat and drink water and not die
In the desert. Yeah. Arabin's a little fucking shithead.
Literally. At the end of the month, have this letter of approval written to Selena Sardathian from the Mute Master. So that's how Arabin's going to know that she completed this training.
Yeah,
We'll
and
see.
you know what's so funny is he's like, if you don't get that, then you have to leave Rifthold or even the continent. And I'd be like,
Yeah.
okay, bye.
Literally. Like, I don't even have to try then. See ya. I'll be on
Yeah.
the southern continent.
I'm off to better pastures, bitch.
Yeah. The Mute Master has a complexion of Ilwi origin. Interessante. Eyes from the southern
Interessante.
continent, so maybe he's got connections in both places, but I feel like that's going to be important. We shall see how she handles these 4 men that charged at her.
Girl can't catch a break.
Literally.
Chapter 2. Selena, weak from travel and dehydration, defeats the 4 men in a test orchestrated by the Mute Master to assess her skills. Hidden assassins witness her victory but don't acknowledge her. Her performance earns a smile from the Master and a beautiful young woman named Ainsel of Briarcliff, who is to be her roommate. Ainsel wears striking armor and introduces Selena to the fortress, showing her to the baths and explaining that she'll be training at dawn. As they walk, Selena studies Ainsel, feeling awkward around another girl her age. They discuss the fortress, its structure, and the role of young children who clean as a part of their training. Ainsel reveals she came to the fortress at 13, sent by her father, Lord Briarcliff, and is now 18. She admits the Mute Master has never trained her directly. When Ainsel asks Selena how many people she's killed, Selena is uneasy, resenting how her reputation, spread by Arabin, precedes her. Ainsel leaves Selena at the baths, where she hides her bruises and reflects on painful memories of Sam.
Aww. I thought it was Ansel.
Is it Ansel or Ansel?
Let me see.
Ansel.
Ansel.
Ansel. Ansel? Ansel?
Ansel.
Ansel.
Okay.
Ansel.
In their small shared room, Selena notices how sparse Ansel's belongings.
Ansel.
Why can I say that? Ansel. Ansel.
Ansel.
Wait, what is it?
Ansel.
Ansel?
Like and Ansel.
Okay. I can't do it.
I mean, I think that's what the thing said.
Ansel?
Ansel.
Anal. That's what we're going to
No.
call her. In their small shared room, Selena notices how sparse Ansel's belongings are. Compared to Selena's luxurious wardrobe and rifthold, Ansel lives plainly. This contrast leads Selena to think about the traumatic night that left her bruised. Selena recalls being punished by Arabin. After she and Sam defied his orders, Arabin's rage turned physical. He manipulates the situation, blaming Selena, and calls in men to restrain Sam. Despite Sam's attempts to protect her, Arabin viciously beats Selena while Sam is forced to watch, helpless. Arabin deliberately avoids scarring her, inflicting only painful blows. Before blacking out, Selena feels guilt over bleeding on the carpet, relieved only that she won't have to witness Sam's punishment.
Oh, Sam.
This is twice she's thinking about Sam already in this chapter.
I know.
But if we bring it back to the beginning, Selena beats these 4 assassins with quite ease, even though she is
Literally.
exhausted, dehydrated after traveling so long through the desert to get to the keep. So she kicks some ass, and then she meets Ansel. Ansel. What is it?
Ansel. You started right the
Ansel.
first time.
I don't
Ansel.
like her name.
Let's change it.
Yeah, let's call her Asshole.
Annie. Let's call her Asshole.
Who clearly has respect in this keep and is getting more attention than Selena. And Selena doesn't really seem to like that. She's like, nobody's looking at me. What the
Yeah,
heck?
I
Don't you know who
know.
I am? I am Selena Zardathian.
Literally.
We get a little tour of the keep and we get to finally take a bath, which she says there's like a bunch of different ones with bubbles, some without bubbles, but she chooses the cold one
Of course.
because she needs a cold plunge after her journey.
I would too. Sounds really scorching hot out there.
But really, I feel like the meat and potatoes of this chapter is the flashback of her being beaten because she still has these bruises on her face a month later. That's
Yeah.
how badly Arabin beat her. And it's crazy that Selena thought she was going to have to watch Sam be beaten by these 3 men that were being called in by Arabin. But really, the 3 men were to restrain Sam to stop Sam from protecting Selena during this beating.
Yeah.
Which
3
is crazy.
men
3 he called
needed.
in.
Yeah.
Wild.
Wild.
But then Arabin proceeds to beat the ever-living daylights out of her. And she's just grateful, though, that she blacks out before she had to witness Sam's punishment.
Yeah.
Which
we
I
don't
think
even know what it is yet.
No. But seeing her beaten is probably
Giving
just the
her a
start
nightmare.
to his punishment.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Crazy.
That must mean that he does love her because Arabin made him watch.
Arabin's a little shit. He knows exactly what he's doing and
Oh, he does.
is so
I'm
calculated in his moves. He knew that having Sam watch her being beaten by him would be so torturous.
Yeah.
That he would need 3 men to restrain him to get to Selena.
Literally.
It's so sad.
I know. And as she goes through this story and realizes it more and more, it's like the anxiety it's giving her too. I'm like,
I know, she's like,
giving
what
me anxiety.
the fuck is happening?
Literally.
I'm like, you love him. You want to kiss him. You want to smooch him.
Yes, she does. Indeed.
Indeed.
Are we ready for the longest chapter I think I've had to take notes for since we started the podcast?
I feel like this happened last time and I threatened to leave, but I'm really going to leave now. Bye.
All right, here we go. Chapter 3. Selena, skipping makeup since it would just sweat off anyway, donned her dinner attire and awaited Ansel's escort. As they walked, she instinctively noted the varying acoustics of the rooms. Some you were allowed to talk, Some only whispered, and some were silent. Despite her exhaustion, Selena meticulously clocked all exits again upon entering the dining hall, where Ansel introduced her to 70 other assassins. Ansel suspected they already knew Selena's identity, though, through gossip. The assassins watched Selena intently as she surveyed the table. She waited for Ansel to sample her own food before taking a bite, reassured by Ansel that the meal wasn't poisoned. Ansel explained that Lord Beric, the local villain, depending on who was telling the story, wouldn't use such a method, despite his desire to kill them. Mikhail confirmed Beric's villainous reputation. Beric, who ruled Xandria and claimed dominion over parts of the desert, have fallen out of favor with the king of Adarlan after failing to send troops to crush a rebellion in Ilwe. He periodically attempted to regain the king's favor by attacking the mute assassins, hoping to deliver their master's head, but Mikhail confirmed all attempts had failed. Ansel noted that any attacker would need to be either smarter or more brutal than Beric, with whom the mute master occasionally sent Ansel to negotiate with. At a table of foreign dignitaries, assassins were being secretly appraised for potential bids, but neither Mikhail nor Ansel would consider an offer. Mikhail enjoyed his life there, and Ansel's father, who viewed such arrangements as prostitution, would disapprove. Ansel stressed that their master recognized Erebin's territorial claims over lands from Ilwe to Terrasen. Selena caught the eye of Ilias, the master's son, known for his singular focus on training over social distractions, prompting Ansel to humorously suggest he might have a preference for blondes. Though Selena dismissed any romantic interest. We know why.
Yes.
Ansel then probed Selena about the beating she received from Erebin. Selena responded with a nuanced, mocking answer. Depends who's telling the story. From Erebin's perspective, she was disobedient. From the perspective of the 200 slaves she freed, she was undeserving. Ansel had been tasked with Selena's training, as the mute master would only engage with her once she no longer reeked like the northern wind, but instead smelt like the red desert. Selena, like everyone else there, had to prove herself worthy of even a single training session with the mute master. Their first trial involved carrying 2 heavy buckets harnessed to a yoke 3 miles across the sand dunes to an oasis. Selena managed a mile before she was forced to walk. Just as she neared collapse, the sound of splashing signaled the oasis was merely an eighth of a mile away. Ansel was already there enjoying dates with her feet in the water. Selena, upon reaching the oasis, immediately submerged herself. After drinking both buckets of water, Selena took her time returning to the fortress, enduring the afternoon heat and walking the entire 3 miles back. Ansel comforted her, sharing that she herself had passed out at mile 2 on her first attempt, necessitating Ilias carrying her back. Despite Ilias's continued attention, Selena tried to ignore him, focusing instead on the mute master. When he left the room, she followed, confronting him to express her desire for his direct training. He wordlessly gestured to her to wait, a confirmation of Ansel's earlier advice, then walked away. As Selena turned to leave, Ilias stood there, shaking his head, a gesture she interpreted as a warning not to pursue the master. His attention was an indication of distrust, not admiration. Selena then tried to introduce herself, assuring him she meant no harm, but his rapid hand movements left her bewildered. She finally retreated to her room. Later, Selena and Ansel chatted before bed. Ansel revealed she and Mikhail had been together since she was 15 and he was in his mid-20s. A common age for marriage for girls in her homeland was as early as 14. Selena drifted to sleep, her thoughts drifting to Sam and the unsettling memory of Erebin needing 3 soldiers to restrain him on the last day she saw him. I need a sip of my water before I dive into that fucking novel.
I was about to fall asleep. I'm just kidding.
I saw you like sinking a little bit,
I was
a
like,
little bit. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is a crazy chapter, but also so much world building. So, of course, I loved it.
of course, it has information we need, but it was just a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Oh, shoot.
I need another one. This one's cold and my other one was not. So that feels really good. So I think it's funny that Ansel introduces her to 70 other assassins all at once. She's like, everybody, this is Selena. Selena, this is everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, even though they already know who you are, because that's all they do is fucking gossip, even though it's a silent facility. Yeah. But okay.
Well, some of them are not.
But we find out about this little feud that the Assassin's Keep has with Lord Beric. and
Yes.
how he wants to basically serve the King of Adarlan, the Mute Master's head, on a silver platter. So he attempts to get at them and attack, but he has since failed all attempts.
Yes.
We meet Mikhail, who has been
Who's a
with
pervert, apparently.
yeah, I'm like, he likes kids, but apparently that's the common thing where they're from.
Selena's like, that's disgusting.
Literally, she's grossed out by the whole thing, but whatever.
Yeah.
He ends up being a good guy, so can't talk too much shit.
I mean, is he good, really, though? Even though he does the right thing in one situation.
I mean, I don't
He
know.
dated her at 13 when he was in his mid 20s. It's gross.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's in his mid 20s now, but he was still like 20 or something when they started dating.
Yeah. I don't know. It is a little bit disturbing for sure. Even now, I wouldn't be dating a 50-year-old
I might.
or
I
a
don't know.
40.
Yes, the range has been upped. I'm like, I'm 35. I can date a 50-year-old.
Yeah. Ansel here recognizes her bruising, and she's like, "Did you deserve that?" And I guess it depends who tells the story, just like they said about Lord Beric.
Though I think if anybody else told the story, everyone's going to be on Selena's side.
Oh,
The only person
100%.
who's going to be on Arabin's side are horrible people.
Exactly, yeah. Who would trade flesh for money?
Gross.
Gross. So Ansel's going to start training Selena because the Mute Master won't give her the time of day. She still smells like the northern wind and not like the desert yet. This seems miserable. It's like a 3-mile run.
Yeah, to and from. So
Yeah,
6 miles
6
total.
miles total with these fucking buckets on your shoulders. Up and down sand dunes. We're not just like on an even plane here. We're like up and down and up and down and up and down.
And sand.
Yeah. I would be passed out probably at a quarter mile.
I wouldn't even have stepped off of the start line.
And Megan
I
would
would have
just
been
be like
like,
this with her buckets.
I'm
Drinking
like,
her buckets.
wow, I made it back already. See you later, suckers.
So funny. Yeah, so that seemed really brutal, but what are you
Good
going
for
to do?
them.
They do it every single fucking day.
All I'm
Wild.
saying is if you ever see me running, you should be running.
There's probably a serial killer.
There's a legitimate reason if you see me in any sort of run, anything faster than a quick walk.
Anything faster. So funny.
And even then, you should be like, why is she quickly walking?
Well, even Ansel says she literally passes out and has to be carried back her first time. So I guess even completing it the first day is a huge accomplishment. So go Selena.
Yeah.
She finishes dinner and tries to get to the Mute Master. She's like, I need this fucking letter. I'm not going to waste no more time. Like, one day's enough. Let me go talk to him. And he basically is like, no, you're going to wait.
Mhm.
Sorry. Which is exactly what Ansel tells her, but
Sorry, Charlie.
sorry. We're back to thinking about Sam at the end of this chapter. And she's really contemplating why 3 men needed to hold him back, but
Because he loves you. He
I
wants
was
to
going to say, but we
smooch
already
you.
know.
All right, I'll give you the shortest break ever because this was a short chapter. Chapter 4. Selena begins to adjust to her life with the silent assassins, driven by Ansel's challenge to push her limits.
It's
She
like me
trained
with that word that I couldn't say.
Illyrian.
Illyrian. What I used to say. Actually, don't tell me.
I don't
Don't
remember.
confuse me.
She trains with the older assassins but remains wary, feeling the need to prove herself while struggling with the memory of her harsh training under Arabin, which emphasized cutthroat competition and mistrust. Unlike Arabin's methods, the silent assassins operate with a sense of camaraderie, sharing skills and wisdom among themselves, creating an atmosphere that feels less ruthless and more collective. One evening, Selena is suddenly called to defend the fortress against Lord Beric's attack. As she, Ansel, and other assassins prepare on the battlements, Selena is quietly determined to prove her worth. Ansel instructs her to fire flaming arrows aimed at intimidating the enemy rather than killing them outright, part of a strategy designed to scare off Beric's men. The tension builds as they spot Barrick's soldiers creeping closer. When the moment arrives, Selena fires her arrow along with Ansel and the other assassins, and it creates a brilliant wall of fire that forces the enemy to retreat. Their successful defense not only boosts Selena's confidence, but also strengthens her bond with Ansel. Later, a surprise visit from Mikhail leads to a pivotal moment for Ansel as she receives orders to travel to Xandria with Selena. This trip offers Selena the chance to demonstrate her loyalty and skills to the master, presenting a risk that might pay off in gaining his approval. Ansel's mischievous invitation leaves Selena curious and apprehensive about what awaits them.
Dun dun dun.
So I love that she's realizing that how Arabin runs his Assassin's Guild is not normal, or it
Yeah.
isn't the norm, that there are other ways to effectively run an Assassin's Guild or keep that still strikes fear in others' minds, hearts, whatever, because the person that was traveling with
Yeah.
Selena showing her the
The
way
nomad.
was very scared to go
Yeah.
to this keep. But we can see here that the assassins are training together. It's collective, kumbaya. They're
People
meditating,
of
working
all
out
ages,
together.
all
Yeah.
origins.
Yeah. And there's not this cutthroat competition, even though they have a competitiveness in them because they want to train with
The master.
with the
Yeah.
mute master, but they're still not killing each other or beating each other down to do it.
Yeah. There are other ways.
But that night, as we were warned in the previous chapter, Lord Beric likes to send some of his men to kind of test out to see
Yeah.
if he can infiltrate the keep. And tonight is no different. They win, but they had already set up with the Mute Master's son,
Ilias.
Ilias, and Mikhail had soaked a rope full of like oil or gasoline or whatever, so that when they shot their burning arrows, it put a ring of fire around the keep, keeping the men from infiltrating or getting any closer, which I just thought was
Yeah. So
bloody
cool.
brilliant.
So cool.
So
Love
cool.
that.
So it was also, yeah, just like a nice bonding moment for Selena. She's never really had any friends, and I feel like she is getting along really well with Ansel.
Yeah.
And so when Ansel is told that she's going to have to go and meet with Lord Beric after this incident, she's like, come along with me. And Selena thinks, wow, I can be putting my training on hold to do an errand for the Mute Master. Maybe he'll see some respect
Yeah.
in that, and I'll be able
Exactly.
to train with him faster.
Yeah. Not a bad idea in my eyes.
I don't think it's a bad idea either, darling.
Even though he doesn't train with Ansel, even, but sure.
Sure, go ahead.
Chapter 5. After a grueling day of desert travel, Selena and Ansel rested in the open, stretched out on the sand. Selena, unable to sleep, asked Ansel if her homeland was truly haunted. Ansel explained that the flatlands were once part of the Crocan witch kingdom, cursed after 3 Iron Teeth clans, with their distinctive metal teeth and dangerous iron fingernails, overthrew the Crocan dynasty 500 years ago. The last Crocan queen cast a spell on the blighted land against any flying under Iron Teeth banners, causing crops to fail, animals to die, and water to muddy. However, the curse had lifted since the Iron Teeth clans migrated east towards Selena's lands. Selena asked if Ansel had ever seen a witch. Ansel recounted a childhood tale from Briarcliff Hall. On a summer solstice night, a stable boy claimed looking through an archway revealed another world. Too scared to enter herself, Ansel watched as her sister and friend Maddie ventured through. A scream followed, her sister fled, and they ran home. Her sister told their father an old woman with metal teeth had grabbed Maddie and dragged her under the stairwell. Despite her father and his men racing to the tower, arriving at dawn, Maddie and the woman were gone. They found only a child's bones picked clean at the top of the tower, resulting in 6 months of kitchen duty as punishment for Ansel and her sister. The next day, Xandria's market buzzed, occupying Selena as she awaited Ansel, excluded from the meeting with Lord Beric. She almost bought a pair of shoes, twice, but was distracted by the sight of spider silk. She recalled legends of the horse-sized Stygian spiders from the Rune Mountains, spinning thread for exorbitant costs, sometimes human flesh, other times years and dreams. The rarity of spider silk made its presence in the amount surprising. The merchant, impressed Selena recognized it, revealed he paid 25 years for 100 yards of the silk and later encountered a witch who said the only way to reclaim his lost years was to kill the spider. He offered to make Selena rich if she would slay the spider for him, but she declined, citing her current lack of time and existing wealth. Selena directed him to Arabin Hamel in Rifthold should he ever be there. He will know where she is. The merchant gave her a folded piece of spider silk as a reminder, cryptically stating, "Everything has a price."
Mm.
Selena finally bought the shoes and waited for Ansel at the fountain. When Ansel arrived, late, she dragged Selena to a stable containing two of Lord Berwick's newly acquired Asterian horses. After Selena confirmed she could ride, Ansel abruptly mounted one and galloped off, with Selena quickly following suit. And here's where we steal the mares.
And here we go.
We start off this chapter learning a little bit more about the Croakan Witch Kingdom, which, reminds me a little bit of previous discussions that we have had about the king maybe working with one. Scary thought.
Maybe not a croaking witch, but maybe an iron.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. The Iron Teeth Witch, because they're the evil ones. The Croakan ones are the good ones.
Supposedly. I
Interessante.
guess it's
Yeah,
whoever you ask.
true. Whoever's telling the story again.
Yeah.
There's this whole legend, I guess, that their lands are haunted because of this whole encounterment with the Iron Teeth versus the Crooked Witches. But ever since the Iron Teeth clans left the area, everything's back to normal. The crops aren't dying, the animals don't die. So I wonder if it's just like wherever they go.
I wonder if that's even true.
I
Or if she's
know.
just lying after we know she's a lying liar who lies.
True. That's very true. But the story was a little chilling that the friend
I
goes
know.
missing and then they find child's bones at the top, picked clean like she ate her. Ugh.
Yeah, I just am loving this reminder from Crown of Midnight, bringing the witches back into the
Yeah.
story. And I'm just like, ah! Like,
I
this whole
know.
chapter just has so much future stuff. That's why I really appreciated reading this again, from like the witches to the spider silk. I'm just like, oh my God.
I know. I'm scared of the spider silk because it makes me feel like we're going to see these giant fucking spiders there. And I'm just like, no, I hate spiders. Anything but spiders. But we're going to see some giant fucking spiders for sure. Major foreshadowing. Especially because Megan is silent. But anyways, we're going to skip that for now because I'm scared. But I feel like it also is a little bit of foreshadowing here that she's going to have to battle a spider because this guy asks her basically to slay a spider. So maybe she unintentionally slays the same spider and he wins his years back. He's like, oh, she did do it. I didn't even have to ask. And then at the end of this chapter, this is where we get the stolen Asterian horses.
Yes, bringing us back again to Crown of Midnight.
Yep, I know. I love it. You're right, Megan. As book 3, really hitting.
Yes, because it's like reminding you of the past and it's prepping you for the future.
Yeah.
Can't change my mind.
I know. I agree.
Oh. Yay.
We agree on something.
Yeah. Chapter 6. Selena and Ansel stage a daring escape from the palace, narrowly dodging 3 guards as they race through the city and into the vast expanse of the Red Desert. Ansel, her red hair blazing in the sun, leads the way with unrelenting speed, the thrill of freedom surging between them. As they tear across the dunes, Selena struggles to match Ansel's reckless pace, even considering for a moment whether she should let the guards catch her friend. Their wild ride brings them closer to the stunning Gulf of Oro, and the rush of the moment fills Selena with exhilaration. She laughs aloud, lost in the excitement of the chase. With fierce determination, Ansel veers toward a towering rock formation known as the Desert Cleaver, urging them to take a dangerous shortcut through its narrow canyon. Though hesitant, Selena follows, plunging into the cleft, with arrows whistling past them as the guards close in.
Oh, darling.
The tension mounts when they reach a deep ravine, leaving no option but to jump. Ansel leaps first, and Selena, heart pounding, urges her horse Casada forward, trusting the mare with their lives. They land safely on the other side, breathless but alive. Relief quickly turns to celebration. Ansel's triumphant energy, infectious as Selena, playfully punches her, a shared moment of laughter after chaos. That night, they make camp beneath the canopy of stars. In the stillness of the desert, Ansel opens up, sharing the heartbreaking story of her family's murder at the hands of Lord Locke, the same man who once threatened her homeland. The revelation forges a deeper bond between the two young women, united by shared grief and a thirst for justice. They make a pact: those who wronged them will pay. But
Really.
this was like kind of like a wild moment, even though Selena's this like big bad assassin. She is a rule follower to some degree.
Yeah.
And this is out of her comfort zone, stealing these mares and racing across the desert, jumping over a ravine where she doesn't know if they're going to plunge to their death or not.
I
I think it's
know.
just so out of character for her to be so out of control, or a plan that's not her own, like letting someone else lead her into chaos. It's just
Yeah.
very out of character. But she thinks that they're bonding, that they have this friendship, and it's just really sad to see what happens at the end of
I
this story.
know. I swear to God, I had no idea she was going to betray her. Like, no idea.
I guess the only thing you could say is that in the last chapter, when she tells her that Selena's not allowed to come into the meeting, that she has to stay out in the market, is like a little suspicious.
I
But
guess, but
at the same time, you
also,
could also relate it to, well, Lord Beric doesn't know Selena, so why is she
exactly.
bringing along this random girl? So it makes sense both ways, but knowing what she does at the end, it makes complete sense that
Yeah, of course.
Selena was kept out of the meeting.
Yeah, I just feel like it's masterly covered up. Like, I had no idea. I
Mm-hmm.
thought even like maybe she was drugging her for some kind of final test to get the master's like approval. Like, I never
Right.
thought it was like an evil thing for her to do. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Crazy. It's funny.
Okay, here we go. Chapter 7. Selena and Ansel brace themselves for punishment for stealing the Asterian mares. As they waited, Selena vividly recalled a crucial detail from her own beating by Arabin: Sam's desperate, repeated cries of, "I'll kill you." When the
Mm.
mute master approached, Ansel began to apologize, but Selena, understanding Ansel's deep desire for training and purpose, took the blame, claiming she simply wanted to return in style. Ansel then suggested cleaning the stables as their punishment, a fitting idea the mute master agreed to. Before they left, the master grasped Selena's arm and signed, which Ansel translated as an order for Selena to report for her first lesson at sunset tomorrow. She had finally proven herself worthy.
Woo!
Woo! Their punishment involved cleaning not just the stables, but all livestock areas, consuming their entire morning. Selena found herself preferring the 6 mile desert run. They finished before the peak heat and smell, then spent the rest of the day sparring with each other and any passing assassin. As sunset neared, Selena sought the mute master, finding Ilias, who directed her to the roof. On the roof, only the master and a basket awaited. Upon opening it, a black asp emerged. The master instructed Selena to observe and move with it, not to kill it, but to absorb its essence. For the rest of the week, Selena spent every night mimicking the asp's movement. She then endured 3 nights hanging from rafters with bats, followed by 2 nights studying jackrabbits, focusing on their movements in silence. Her days were mostly solitary, seeing Ansel only for the morning manure duty, observing Ilias's meditating, and Mikhail training acolytes. She rested in the afternoons and trained with the master throughout the nights. During the quiet moments, though, the memory of Sam threatening Arabin resurfaced, but Selena consistently pushed these unsettling thoughts away. She's remembering little by little also as she's like being traumatized by these memories, and she remembers him saying, "I'll kill you."
Mm-hmm. Arvin knew he would need to be held down, because if Sam was not being held down when he started beating Selena, Sam probably would have killed Arvin for
Yeah,
sure
100%. I
for
believe that
touching
after this.
his woman.
Literally, I'm like, oh shit. Another sad moment here. Selena is being the best friend that she literally is to Ansel,
Mm-hmm.
taking the blame for the fucking Asterian mares. And Ansel just lets her. She's like, yep. Knowing
Bitch.
that it's all a fucking scheme. Little scheming schemer.
Well, the Mute Master saw right through that.
Yeah, for sure. He also finds her worthy of it because of this mission. So he's like, you know what? First lesson tomorrow at sunset. With his hands, he said it. But hey, we're going to start fucking training. And you know what? I wasn't expecting there to be a snake in a basket and for her hanging on raptors with bats and watching rabbits. So interesting ideas. But hey, this is what we've been waiting for. I can just like picture her mimicking these moves like.
I gotta go. I have to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. She's busy though. She's cleaning up fucking animal shit all morning. Sleeping all afternoon, mimicking these animals all night. She's exhausted, but she's still fucking thinking at the beginning and end of this chapter about Sam threatening Arabin.
Yeah.
I feel something really, really bad. And I know Sam already is dead and he dies, but I'm like, oh, it's going to be so heartbreaking.
It's gonna
I
be
don't know
so
if
sad.
I'm ready for it.
It's actually pretty fucking sad.
I might actually cry on the podcast.
Yes. Oh, baby Sam.
Oh, we'll see.
Oh my god. I think I just laughed through that whole entire section.
Yeah, I'm pretty funny.
Okay. Chapter 8. We find Selena and Ansel, two skilled assassins, sharing a rare moment of friendship as Selena applies makeup on Ansel for her birthday during Midsummer Eve. Ansel is skeptical of makeup but enjoys the attention and fun it brings. Selena dreads the thought of leaving Ansel behind in just a week as she realizes the depth of their budding friendship, something she has never truly experienced before. The Midsummer Eve festival is unlike any celebration Selena has known. Instead of noisy revelry, the assassins gather for a silent
A silent dance.
dance under the moonlight with only the gentle sounds of the movement.
I could imagine, like,
They're all on fucking drugs, except they're not. Oh, I love to silent dance.
It's the music flowing in my brain.
Okay, Selena and Ansel indulge in wine, contrasting with Selena's yearning. Stop it. Yearning to trade more with the master as she watches Ansel.
Again. How about this? You just read every time Ansel comes up. I'll just say Ansel.
Okay.
Guys, Megan is struggling with the word Ansel, so I'm gonna help her out.
Okay. I'm just anticipating you saying it. Okay. As she watches
Ansel.
Okay. Okay.
I'm really crying now.
Dance carefree with Mikhail, Selena reflects on her feelings for Sam and the tension surrounding their relationship. Her thoughts are clouded by memories of previous pain inflicted by Arabin on both her and Sam. As the night unfolds, Ilias invites Selena to dance. Despite her initial hesitation and anxiety about her lack of romantic experience, they share an unexpectedly intimate moment. Yet when Ilias leans in for a kiss, Selena pulls back, haunted by the memory of Sam. Feeling a mix of regret and disappointment, she leaves Ilias, who is understanding of her need for space.
Thank God.
The following moment, Selena and
Ansel.
resume their chores with
Ansel.
visibly affected by the previous night's events. Their
Imagine if I'm saying it wrong the whole time.
interactions take a turn as Selena lashes out at
Ansel.
suggesting that her struggles and ambitions are insignificant. This triggers a harsh retort from
Ansel.
accusing Selena of being selfish. And then that bitch storms out.
Yep. And then they're in their first fight.
Oh my god, that was his fucking struggle.
I think I'm going to be miserable editing that, but it was fun while it lasted.
Just leave it.
I'm literally going to leave it because what else am I going to do? copy and paste Ansel from another part that you said? I could do that, actually. I'm that tech savvy.
Okay, so we show up to this silent dance for Midsummer, which is so ridiculous, which started our fucking hysterics. Well, we've been cracking up, but this is just continuing. This is like when Tamlin tried to like
Yeah.
make those
The fiddle?
noises.
Oh.
No, it was like the fiddle. Then remember he tried to read her like a poem where he said like I forgot what he said, but I just kept dying laughing
I don't remember.
reading his poem. This
Yeah.
is like this moment, the silent dancing. Her bestie's having a great time. She's having a great time. Ilias comes up to her. They're dancing. Selena basically dances the night away until her feet hurt, and then Ilias walks her back to her room. He's like, I'm about to get lucky, but Selena has never even had a kiss before.
Yeah.
And when he leans in to kiss her, she thinks of Sam and she stops the kiss because her first kiss, it belongs to Sam.
Yeah. Hey, also, I just remembered this is not the first time she silently danced. She danced in Throne of Glass, too.
With Kale, yeah.
Yeah. And on the porch by herself.
She is a fucking pro at silent dancing.
Wow. You gotta be real musically inclined to dance silently.
Literally, so crazy. The next morning, the besties get into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So sad.
I
But
know.
tensions are high. She's leaving soon. And asshole has a plan to murder everybody in this keep.
Asshole, aka Ansel. The fight to me was just like, whoa, that was so fast. Like, what the fuck just happened? But
It
also,
escalated so quickly
Yeah.
because obviously Ansel
she had a
has something
plan.
to hide.
Right.
And she's just taking it out on Selena.
Yeah. But also, is it to put her plan in motion? Because she needs an excuse for her to drink the
Yeah.
poison, I guess.
It could be all a part of her plan.
Yeah. And she's a shady little asshole.
She is a shady little asshole.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 9. During training, Selena's distraction caught the Mute Master's attention. Without speaking, he motioned for her to explain. Though she deemed discussing her fight with Ansel childish, Selena confessed her fear of returning home. The Master's raised eyebrows silently asked why, and she elaborated that Arabin's recent punishment had irrevocably altered everything, and it was this impending change that terrified her most. The Master then began mimicking the movements of the snake, and it finally clicked for Selena. She joined him, mirroring his fluid motions until dawn, just the two of them. Returning to her room, Selena braced for another confrontation with Ansel, but her friend had already gone to the stables. Selena decided to return the favor, leaving the chores to Ansel for the day, and collapsed into sleep. She awoke around dinner to Ansel shaking her, and they both apologized, though Ansel's demeanor remained peculiar. Ansel then confessed that, despite her many acquaintances, Selena was her only true friend. Ansel offered wine, proposing a toast to making amends and fond memories. Selena, in turn, toasted to being the most fearsome and imposing girls the world had ever seen. As Selena drank, two chilling realizations struck her. Ansel's eyes were filled with sorrow, and the wine tasted strangely off. Her goblet crashed to the ground as the world spun and then went black. And we have the betrayal.
That was crazy.
Yeah. I think even the confession in the beginning starts this chapter off so emotionally, and then Ansel goes and breaks her heart at the end. I'm like, no, or my heart, I should say. But Selena confessed she's fearful of returning home, but I feel like it's because she knows that this whole matter, even though she did her punishment or whatever, she's not just going to go back to the same old life in Rifthold after this. So,
yeah.
And she's like really scared to know the unknown. Because she knows she has to kind of go on her own from Arabin eventually, or like split from Arabin, I feel. Or like this is her realization that he's a bad guy. There's better people out there that train the same. We see that with the Red Desert and the Silent Assassins. So that scares me though for the reemergence of Arabin in our story.
Yes.
So the two besties kiss and make up. They both apologize to each other, basically. But Selena does notice her demeanor is still really weird here, which I feel like was a kind of sign that something was going to be amiss, but also not enough for me to think she was a cheater. Like I mentioned earlier, I thought maybe it was part of like her trust from the mute master, like his approval, but no, I was
No.
very wrong.
Drugs.
Drugs, drugged, blackness, trauma.
Trauma.
Add it to the list.
Chapter 10. Selena wakes up alone and disoriented in the desert after being abandoned by Ansel, uncertain why she was released from her training with the Silent Assassins. Feeling betrayed and unwanted, especially after discovering her sword is missing, she reflects on her time with the assassins and her belonging. As she travels to Exandria to find a ship, she senses trouble brewing at the assassin's fortress. After encountering Lord Beric's soldiers, she quietly slips away, feeling an urgent need to act. In Xandria, she secures a passage to Emir, and upon inspecting a supposedly official letter from her master, discovers it's blank, deepening her suspicion that Ansel may have deceived her. So basically, Selena wakes up from being drugged, but she's like, okay, I'm at least alive. She's
Mm-hmm.
out alone in the desert, sleeping off this drugness with one of the Asterian horses, and she has two letters. Basically, one is from her bestie saying that her time at the keep is over and she needs to go home. And in the other pocket, there's another letter of the master's approval to Arabin. So Selena can go home. She has everything she came for and she can leave. But as
Mm-hmm.
Selena's walking back across the desert, with her horse, she notices that about like 200 men of Lord Beric's are heading towards the Assassin's Keep. And she's like, well, if they didn't want me, then I have no reason to warn them. But
Yeah.
as she's securing her passage back to Rifthold, she continues to think about this and she's like, something isn't right. Something in my gut is telling me that this is wrong. So she opens up the letter from the master and discovers that it's blank, that she was tricked by her bestie and something is not right.
Yeah. Something is definitely not right. Chapter 11, and my last chapter. Selena spurred her mare across the sand dunes, reaching the fortress to find scattered fire and bodies littering the approach to an apparently unlocked gate, courtesy of Ansel. She dismounted, seized a dead soldier's sword, and plunged inside. Corpses of soldiers and assassins lay everywhere. As she headed for the master's room, she swiftly dispatched a descending soldier. Assuming Ansel had also drugged the mute master, Selena burst into his room. She found Mikhail dead, his throat slit, and Ilias bleeding from his lips. Seeing Ilias's gesture towards his father, Selena rushed to the master, who lay paralyzed with Ansel poised to decapitate him. The master's eyes pleaded for his son's life, but as Ansel raised her sword, Selena launched a knife, striking her mark. Ansel dropped the weapon, and Selena tackled her before she could retrieve it. Breaking apart, they prepared to duel. Selena urged Ansel not to proceed, but Ansel, having thought Selena went home, revealed her motive. Lord Beric promised 1,000 soldiers to march into the flatlands for revenge on High King Locke, with the stolen mares providing the pretext for Beric's attack on the Assassin's Keep. Selena vowed to kill Ansel if she touched the master and rejected Ansel's offer to join her. Their blades clashed, and despite Ansel gaining a vulnerable position, she hesitated. Selena, realizing Ansel might not kill her or the master, stalled for time to retrieve her dagger. Selena pressed Ansel on Mikhail's killer, to which Ansel confessed. Mikhail had discovered her plot and tried to intervene. Ilias was merely collateral. Ansel had wanted to personally inform the master of the invasion, ensuring she could poison him first. The master, with a hand gesture, reminded Selena of their training with the snake. Understanding, Selena slithered out from under Ansel and reversed their positions, holding Ansel's father's sword to her throat. Selena felt Ansel deserved to die for the fallen assassins and soldiers and for the personal betrayal. Granting Ansel 5 minutes to pack and leave the fortress, Selena warned that in 20 minutes she'd fire an arrow from the battlement, and if Ansel wasn't out of range, it would find her back. Without a glance, Ansel callously stepped over Mikhail's dead body and vanished.
Shoot, that's
She is
cold.
one heartless bitch. God damn.
All she can see is her revenge for her family, and that's just
Yeah.
clouding every good judgment she could ever have.
Literally. But perfect timing for Selena because Ansel is literally holding the sword over the mute master who's poisoned to the point where he's paralyzed. He cannot move.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, she uses her little flick of a dagger trick and hits her right in the wrist. Ansel drops her father's sword. She ends up picking it back up, though, and before she can use it, Selena tackles her, and then they start fucking battling. They're like, no, don't do this.
Selena's like, you cut my face, you bitch!
Ansel even offers, she's like, just come with me. We'll rule the army, we'll fuck shit up from High King Lock, and we'll rule the area. And she's just like, no, you're not gonna fucking kill the Mute Master. Knock it the fuck off.
Yeah.
And she kind of realizes through all this that she probably already would have killed the Master and Selena if she was actually going to. So she kind of had like an internal struggle there. And Selena plays off of it. She's fucking stalling. I'm going to keep her talking. And we find out that she kills Mikhail because Mikhail finds out what she's going to do and tries to stop her. Ilias was unfortunately wrong place, wrong time, collateral damage. He's not dead yet, but he's pretty much dying on the sidelines here. And the master is trying to remind Selena of, their training. Be the fucking
Mhm.
snake, Selena. Be the snake, is what he's
Be
saying.
the snake.
Be the snake. Yeah. She gets her in a vulnerable position, but also she's feeling the same way. She doesn't want to kill Ansel. She's like, you know what? She's got 5 minutes to get her fucking shit, 20 minutes to get out of the fortress before she finds a fucking arrow in a goddamn bag.
Chapter 12. Selena races to save Ilias, who has been gravely wounded during this attack, and demonstrating quick thinking and courage, she tears strips from her bloodied tunic to bind his wounds while calling out for the other assassins to help. The situation is pretty fucking chaotic, with the injured and dying warriors scattered around the fortress, and the paralyzed master desperately trying to reach his son. In the midst of the turmoil, Selena's determination and strength shine as she prioritizes Ilias and the master's safety, refusing to give in to the panic around her. The master reminds Selena, though, of her promise to Ansel. She runs up to the top of the keep where she sees Ansel on her horse riding away. Selena fired her arrow and it just misses her, even though it would have gotten her because Selena says she gave her an extra minute. She didn't
Ugh.
fire at minute 20, she fired at minute 21, and the arrow literally lands at like the rear of the horse's hooves.
God damn it.
She couldn't do it.
I know, I get it. It's her friend. Whatever.
The next morning, the fortress is quiet and somber. Though Ilias is alive and recovering, the cost of Ansel's many assassins are dead and the survivors are mourning. When Selena meets with the master again, their conversation is heavy with reflection. And he speaks to Selena. He uses his words. He reveals that he has always known Ansel might betray them, yet he did nothing, hoping perhaps she would choose another path. He also tells Selena that he believes she was the one Ansel considered her closest friend, and he encourages her to reflect not just on Ansel's actions, but on her motivations and pain. Selena is left wrestling with conflicting emotions: grief for those lost, anger at Ansel's betrayal, guilt for her inability to stop her, and sorrow over their friendship that was shattered. Still, the master offers her a letter of recommendation for Arabin and assures her that she will always have a home should she ever return from the north. This final gesture of kindness gives Selena something she hadn't had in a long time: hope. As she leaves the fortress, she feels the northern wind on her face, a symbol of change and the beginning of a new chapter in her life. Despite the pain and loss, she moves forward, strengthened by the trials she has faced.
What a good ending. I
I
actually love the
know.
Mute Master.
Me too.
I really do. Even he didn't want her to die, which I think was very opposite of Arabin. He would have been like, kill her.
Yeah, you
Skin
betrayed
her alive.
me, you're dead. But I
Yeah.
think the master has just such profound understanding of people's motivations and
Mhm.
can see why she was doing what she had to do. She felt it was the only way for her to get revenge for her father and for her sister, and she needed those soldiers and she
Yeah.
needed to get them one way or another. And if the master wasn't going to train her, then she needed another way. She was desperate, and I think he can see beyond, just the betrayal.
Right.
And he
Yeah.
is encouraging Selena to do the same.
Yeah. Which she does. I mean, she does let her live, so.
She did. She waited till minute 21.
Mhm.
But at the end, I really like that he gives her the letter and he's basically like, you give this to your master and like, you take no shit from him anymore and you always have a home here. And I just
I
feel
know,
like
I love
Selena just
that.
appreciated that so much. She's
Yeah.
like, I love how he just was like, you give it to him and take no shit from him anymore.
Never again.
Never again will he beat you. Like, never let that happen ever again.
Yeah. And she saves Ilias.
Yeah, she saved his son, which
Thank
is,
God.
I think the Meat Master will always be in debt to her for saving not only his life, but his son's.
I know.
It
There
was
was
such
a
a nice ending to the
Yeah.
story.
No, it totally was. Ansel's betrayal totally sucked, but like, the way Sarah J. Maas humanizes her though, and it's just
Yeah.
like so crazy. You're like, oh, I hate her, but like, okay.
She does that to a lot of her evil characters or ones that could have redemption. She does that for Tamlin. She
Yeah.
does it for Nesta, almost even Eris too, we
Yeah.
see. But like she doesn't do that for like Amarantha or the King of
The King of
Hybern.
Hybern, yeah.
Yeah. So, or Arabin. I
Interesting.
think when
Yeah.
they're like truly evil, you won't ever see a humanizing characteristic about them.
Yeah, for sure. Which is good because, like, imagine if she made me like Arabin after all this. I'd be
No.
like mind fucked. I
Yeah.
would need therapy.
You would need therapy.
Literally.
But yay, a third story
Yay! I
done.
know. 2 more to go before we get to the next book. And that's all we have for you today. Please let us know what you think by leaving us a review and comments on any of the platforms you are listening/watching on or on our social media pages. This helps tremendously to get the word out and lead more listeners to find our show and tune in. And come join our book club Discord. You can find the link in our bios on Insta and TikTok. And this month, we are still voting for our book in the Discord. We're choosing between The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee or Shield of Sparrows by Devaney Perry. We haven't decided on a date yet, but it will be in August. So
Yes.
don't be shy. We love chatting with you guys.
Yes. Don't forget to email, follow, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, and tell all your friends about us. And we hope the rest of your day is blissful. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Join us next week for part 4 of Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas, covering the assassin and the underworld. Happy reading!